Hi guys, it's Carly. We're back again for another Vinyasa Gentle, here with all my friends, including Banjo. So let's come on to our backs. Start on your back today. And then taking up as much space as you want. Spread your feet wide. Allow the feet to drop open. Arms can spread wide and the palms face up. Settling in here, softening now from head to toe. And bringing awareness back to your breath. Take that full breath inhale all the way to the top, fill it all the way up, and a long breath exhale, let it all go. Another full breath inhale, fill it all the way up, expand the rib cage. Long breath exhale, let it all go. So when you don't know where to start, start by believing. We're all feeling a little unsettled these days. It's sort of uncharted territory. But when you're feeling that way, you actually have the power to find peace. You just have to start by believing. When you're in charge of your destiny, all it takes is a few positive thoughts to lead the way. Bringing awareness now back to the breath. Take that full breath inhale all the way to the top, fill it all the way up. Long breath exhale, let it all go. Another full breath inhale, fill it all the way up, expand the rib cage. Long breath exhale, let it all go. On your inhale, bring the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the shins, forehead comes up to the knees. Exhale, lowering knees over to the right side. As you twist and gaze over to the left, simple supine spinal twist. And so every time you come to your mat, these postures, they ask you to believe in yourself. Some of them are not that easy, but if you believe you can, you will. Maybe not the first time, maybe not the 20th time, but you will get it. All you have to do is keep believing. The hardest part of that practice is you have to keep believing even when you don't see the results right away, even when it takes 1,000 times before you get it right. But if you keep believing, it will happen. Stay positive. Inhale to bring the knees back through center. Wrap arms around the shins, forehead comes up to the knees. Exhale, lower the knees over to the left side as you twist and gaze over to the right. Simple supine spinal twist. And sometimes our past experiences, they get in the way of us believing in ourselves. Sometimes worries about the future get in the way too. But if you just stay right here in the present moment, believe in yourself, you can do anything. On the inhale, bring the knees back through center. Wrap arms around the shins. Forehead comes up to the knees. Exhale, beginning to rock long on the spine, forward and back. As you rock forward, feet begin to touch. As you rock back, back of the head touches, picking up momentum here. Next time you come forward, come to seated, then right into tabletop pose. Hands and knees on your inhale. Exhale, draw the crown of the head forward, lengthening the spine. Inhale to lift the gaze, drop the belly, send the tailbone up high. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, draw the navel in and up. Inhale, lift the gaze, drop the belly, send the tailbone up high. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, draw the navel in and up. Taking a few more rounds of cat-cow here on your own to the rhythm of your own breath. Connecting your breath to your movement at your own speed. One more cycle of breath here, and then coming back to neutral tabletop, hands and knees on your inhale. Exhale, draw crown of the head forward, lengthening the spine. Now on your inhale, sweep the right arm out to the side, up high, reach it long, take the gaze up. Exhale, bring that right hand thread it underneath the body, back of the right hand, right shoulder, right cheek or temple come down to touch. And now the left arm can drape across the low back. Maybe you find a little bind here in the hip crease, or extending that left arm long in front of you with the palm touching the ground. Check out both options, see what works for you, and then bring awareness back to your breath. Inhale, use that left hand, slowly press yourself up through hands and knees. Sweep the right arm out to the side, up high, reach long, gaze up. Exhale, right hand comes back down. Inhale, sweep the left arm out to the side, up high, reach it high, gaze up. Exhale, bring the left hand down, thread it underneath the body. Back of the left hand, left shoulder, left cheek or temple come down. And now that right arm can drape across the low back. Find a little bind on the other side in the hip crease, or extending that right or left arm long in front of you with the palm touching the ground. Awareness comes back to your breath. On the inhale, use that right hand. Slowly press yourself up through hands and knees. Sweep the left arm out to the side, up high, reach it high, gaze up. Exhale, left hand comes back down. Take a full breath inhale here. Now on your exhale, come down onto your forearms. Sliding the elbows forward, straightening the arms, melt the chest and the forehead down toward the ground. Your hips will stay stacked over the knees here in extended puppy pose. Feeling this through the upper back and the shoulders. The chest may not connect to the ground, but forehead can connect here. Now on the inhale, slowly pressing yourself back up through hands and knees, tabletop pose. Exhale, tuck the toes, shift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet here, sway the hips from side to side. Find any movement that works for you in this first downward facing dog. Bending one knee at a time, rooting down one heel at a time. Maybe bend that right knee, send the hips over to the right, and then take the gaze under that left shoulder. Switching sides, straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, shift the hips to the left, gaze under the right shoulder, switching back and forth here. One more cycle of breath, and then find stillness so we can make those little adjustments. First, start by spreading all 10 fingers super wide. Take up space with your hands on the mat, and then press the mat away with your hands. Send all the weight out of the upper body into the hips and the thighs. Sink the heels down to the ground even more. Turn arm bones in so armpits more face the ears. Drop the ears past the biceps, chest toward the thighs. Gaze between the upper thighs, maybe even the navel. Now on the inhale, soften the knees, take the gaze forward, walk your feet all the way to the top of the mat, toes to the wrists, look up to lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to stand, sweep the arms up overhead, palms touch, gaze goes up. Exhale, forward fold, both hands come down. Inhale, look up to lengthen. Exhale, step both feet back, high plank, top of a push-up, pause here. So to modify Chaturanga, lower knees down to the ground, uncurl toes, shift shoulders past the wrists, bend the elbows, but hug them in super tight, lower all the way to the belly. From here, hover hands, lift chest up, baby cobra, press the tops of the feet down. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, press yourself up through hands and knees. Exhale, tuck toes, shift hips up and back, downward facing dog. Taking baby cobra each time, or there's a couple other options. On the inhale, soften knees, gaze forward, step or hop this time to the top of the mat. Toes to the wrists, look up to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, sweep arms up overhead, palms touch, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, both hands come down. Inhale, look up to lengthen. Exhale, step both feet back, high plank, top of a push-up, pausing here. Another option to modify, lower knees to the ground, uncurl toes, shift shoulders past the wrist, bend elbows, lower all the way to the belly. This time, use your hands into the mat, pressing them down, lift the chest up, low cobra. Press into the mat, straighten the arms to that full cobra pose. Maybe one step further, press into the tops of the feet, lift the thighs up, upward facing dog. Now on the exhale, pass through hands and knees if you need to, tuck the toes, shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. So lots of options here. Take what works for you. You can skip it all together by pressing back to downward facing dog or take full chaturanga to up dog. On your inhale, soften knees, gaze goes forward, step or hop to the top, toes to the wrists, look up to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to stand. Sweep the arms up overhead, palms touch, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up to lengthen. Exhale, step both feet back, high plank, top of a push-up, flow through chaturanga your way. Inhale, roll heart forward, baby cobra, cobra pose or upward facing. Exhale, over toes, downward facing dog. On the inhale, soften knees, gaze goes forward, step or hop to the top, toes to the wrist, look up to lengthen. Exhale, fold. This time on your inhale, bring the big toes to touch as you squat deep, chair pose, Utkatasana, arms up high, sink hips low. Now, rolling the bottom of the heart space toward the ceiling, squeeze the knees together, gives you leverage to pull the arm bones back in space, sink a little lower, gaze up, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up to lengthen. Exhale, send your feet back, flow through, chaturanga your way. Inhale, roll heart forward, baby cobra, cobra pose or upward facing. Exhale, over toes, downward facing dog. On the inhale, right leg lifts high in the air. Exhale, step the right foot forward between the palms, back knee comes down to the ground, uncurl toes. Inhale, arms up overhead, palms touch, gaze goes up, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So sink the hips toward the ground. As you do that, right knee starts to shift forward. Feel it in front of the left hip. Gaze goes up. One more inhale. Exhale, both hands come back down to the ground. Tuck the back toes. Lift your back knee up. Send that right foot back. Flow through, chaturanga. Inhale, roll heart forward. Baby cobra, cobra pose or upward facing. Exhale, over toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high in the air. Exhale, step the left foot forward between the palms. Back knee comes down to the ground. Uncurl toes. Inhale, arms up overhead. Palms touch, gaze goes up. Exhale, sink a little deeper here in the hips. That left knee starts to shift forward. Feeling it in front of the right hip this time. Reach long, take the gaze up. One more inhale. Exhale, both hands come back down. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up, send the left foot back. Flow through, chaturanga. Inhale, roll heart forward, lift the thighs or modify. Exhale, over toes, downward facing dog. Full breath inhale here all the way to the top. Long breath exhale, lower the knees down to the ground, uncurl toes. Sit your hips back to your heels, find child's pose. Just a few breaths here. So child's pose is your resting pose. Come back here anytime you need a break. Take a full breath inhale all the way to the top. Long breath, exhale, let it all go. On the inhale, extend fingertips to the top of the mat. Allow elbows to lift. Exhale, slide hands back towards the shoulders. Rise back up through hands and knees. Tabletop pose on your inhale. Exhale, tuck toes, shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's build this flow. On the inhale, right leg lifts high in the air. Exhale, step the right foot forward between the palms. This time, blade of the back foot comes in and down. Rise up to warrior one. Arms up overhead, sink deep into that front knee. So shoulders are stacked over the hips, super strong in that back leg. You want to square the hips off and the shoulders off to front of the room or forward. So you might have to pull back on that right hip to let the left one come forward. Sink a little deeper here on the inhale. Exhale, interlace fingers behind your back. Inhale, lift chest. Exhale, take that hover over the front knee. This one's just a hover. Keep your gaze forward. Tighten through the core. Squeeze shoulder blades. Send that one big fist back. Inhale to rise back up. Release your bind, arms up high, gaze goes up. Exhale, open big warrior two this time. So sink deep into that front knee. Right arm is long in front, gaze is over the right fingertips. Shoulders stack over the hips, tighten the back leg, and then just check out that front knee. Make sure it tracks toward the right so it doesn't collapse inward. On your inhale, interlace fingers behind the back, lift your chest. Exhale, bow it forward, nice and slow. This one's not a hover. The right shoulder will come down on the inside of that right thigh as you forward fold. You can allow the head and the neck to release here, and even that one big fist can start to fall away from the low back. This is humble warrior. Inhale, rise back up, release your bind. Arms up high, gaze goes up, open back up to warrior two, sinking deep in that front knee. Flip the palms, take it back, reverse your warrior. Exhale, both hands come back down to the ground, but this time on the inside of that right foot. The back heel will spin high, lizard pose. So options to modify here, back knee can come down to the ground. You can stay up onto the palms. If you want to intensify, keep that back knee lifted, come onto the forearms. But wherever you go, take the gaze forward. Make sure you're reaching the heart space forward. You don't want to collapse inward and round the shoulders. Lift the chest, reach it forward. One more inhale here. On the exhale, if that back knee is down, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up. If you're on your forearms, come back up onto the palms. Frame the front foot with your hands. Sweep your right arm out to the side, up high, reach it long, gaze goes up, twisted dragonfly. So tighten up the back leg. Fight the floor away with your left hand. Reach the right arm back in space a little bit more. Gaze up, inhale. Exhale, right hand comes back down. Send your right foot back. Flow through Chaturanga. Inhale, roll heart forward, baby cobra, cobra pose or upward facing. Exhale, over toes, downward facing dog. On your inhale, left leg lifts high in the air. Exhale, step the left foot forward between the palms. Blade of the back foot in and down, rise up, warrior one, arms up high. Sink deep into that front knee. So sink a little deeper here, tighten the back leg, squaring off the shoulders and the hips to the front of the room or forward. You might have to pull back that left hip in space now to let the right one come forward. Reach long, gaze goes up, one more inhale. Exhale, interlace fingers behind the back, lift your chest. Exhale, take your forward fold or hover. So just a hover here. Chest hovers over the front thigh. Gaze is forward. Tighten the core, squeeze shoulder blades, and send that one big fist back. Inhale to rise back up, release your bind, arms up high, gaze goes up. Now exhale, open big warrior two, sinking deep in that front knee. So right away, check out that front knee, just make sure it tracks toward the left, that left pinky toe. Super strong back leg, arms are so strong in both directions. Now on your inhale, interlace fingers behind the back, lift your chest. Exhale, bow it forward, nice and slow. So this one's not a hover. Left shoulder comes down on the inside of the left thigh. Once you're folded, you can allow the head and the neck to release. That one big fist starts to fall away from the low back. Humble warrior. Now on the inhale, rising back up, release the bind, flip your palms, take it back, reverse the warrior. Gaze goes up here, sink a little deeper in that front knee. On your exhale, both hands come down to the ground on the inside of that left foot. Back heel spins high, there's your lizard pose. So modifications here as well. You can drop that back knee down. You can stay up onto the palms, or you can come down onto the forearms and make it a little bit more intense. You can keep that back knee lifted. But wherever you go, reach the heart space forward, gaze is forward, squeezing the left knee in toward the left shoulder. One more inhale here. On your exhale, coming back up onto the palms if you're on the forearms, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up, frame the front foot with your hands, left arm sweeps open, twisted dragonfly. Gaze up on your inhale. Tighten that back leg. You can sink the hips a little more. Fight the floor away with the right hand this time. Left arm sweeps back a little more, create more space. One more inhale here. Exhale, left hand comes back down. Send your left foot back and flow through that very last Chaturanga. Inhale, roll heart forward, baby cobra, cobra pose or upward facing. Exhale, over toes, downward facing dog. Taking that full breath, inhale here all the way to the top, fill it all the way up. And now a long breath, exhale, let it all go. Lowering the knees down to the ground, uncurl toes. Sit your hips back to your heels. Find that child's pose here for a few breaths. And so all it takes is a little bit of belief in ourselves, a belief that we can do it. A little positivity that we're all going to get through this together. Staying present, ignore those past experiences and stop worrying about the future. Just stay right here in the present moment. That's how we get through this. On the inhale, extend fingertips to the top of the mat. Allow elbows to lift. Exhale, slide hands back towards the shoulders as you rise up through hands and knees, tabletop pose. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck the toes, shift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Promise we're just passing through. Inhale, the right leg lifts high in the air. Exhale, bring that right leg forward for pigeon pose on the right. So right knee lays to the ground behind the right wrist, right ankle behind the left wrist, left leg's long behind you. Connecting your right hip to the ground or a block if you have one. You just want to be supported there. On your inhale, walk the hands toward the hips, sit up super tall for length. And then on the exhale, keep that long spine. Start to walk the hands out in front of you. Take your forward fold here. And so this is just to your edge. Comfortable discomfort. Supporting yourself here at your edge, bringing your awareness right back to your breath. Follow those inhales to the top. Say inhale in your mind, say exhale in your mind. Stay connected to your breath. Staying present. Now on the inhale, begin to slide the hands back towards your shin, rising back up, shoulders stack over the hips. Now tuck the back toes, pressing into the palms, lift the hips up, send that right leg up and back, three-leg dog. Bend the knee, shake it out. And when you're ready, lower the foot back down to the ground. Inhale that left leg high in the air. Exhale, bring your left leg forward for pigeon pose on the left. Left knee behind the left wrist, left ankle lays behind the right wrist. Right leg is long behind you, toes point straight back. Connect your left hip to the ground or a block for support here. Walking the hands toward the hips, sit up so tall for length. Then on your exhale, take that forward fold. Walking the hands out in front of you. Coming just to your edge, that comfortable discomfort, no pain. And then bring awareness right back to your breath. On the inhale, slide the hands back towards the shoulders, rising back up, shoulders stack over the hips. Now tucking the back toes, press into the palms, lift the hips up, send the left leg up and back, three-leg dog, bend the knees, shake it out. And when you're ready, lowering that foot back down to the ground. Full breath inhale here. On the exhale, lower the knees to the ground, uncurl toes, and then swing the legs around in front of you, coming to seated here. Legs come long in front first, and then bend the knees. Soles of the feet come to the ground, hands come behind the back. Lower yourself all the way down to your back. Keeping the knees bent here, slide the heels in toward the hips. As close as they can come, your arms extending long in front of you. You should be able to touch the back of the heels with your fingertips. Setting up for bridge pose here. On your inhale, press into the feet. Slowly lift the hips up, one vertebrae at a time. Low, middle, upper back, they lift up high. You can interlace your fingers underneath your hips. Press that one big fist down. That'll help you lift a little higher. You can engage the quads, engage the glutes. That'll help you lift even higher here. Maybe the chest starts to lift toward the chin. One more full breath inhale here. On the exhale, slowly lowering the hips back down to the ground. Once your hips reconnect, bring the feet as wide as the mat. So feet come to the edges of the mat, and then knock the knees together. Windshield wipering the legs back and forth, resetting. And then when you're ready, bringing the knees back through center. On your inhale, bring the knees into the chest. Wrap the arms around the shins. Forehead comes up to the knees. Exhale, lower knees over to the left side. As you twist and gaze over to the right, simple supine spinal twist. Option to take a little deeper twist here. You can cross the left or the right thigh around the left thigh, twisting the legs together here in twisted root. Arms come to a T, gaze over to the right. Just a little bit deeper. Inhale now to bring the knees back through center, uncrossing the legs if they're crossed. Bring the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the shins, forehead comes up to the knees. Exhale, lower the knees over to the right side this time. As you twist and gaze over to the left. Same option here on this side to take that deeper twist. Crossing the left thigh around the right, twist the legs together like eagle posture. Arms to a T, gaze to the left. On your inhale, bring the knees back through center, uncrossing the legs, knees come into the chest, wrap the arms around the shins, forehead comes up to the knees, hugging it in so very tightly here. One last time, take that full breath, inhale all the way to the top, fill it all the way up. And now a long breath, exhale, let it all go. Legs come long in front of you, arms are long to your sides. Taking up as much space here as you want. Spread the feet wide, arms can spread wide. Feet drop open, palms face up. Coming back to that simple breath. Sealing the eyes. And take rest. So these guys are gonna take their Shavasana now. Take as long as you want at home, and we'll see you real soon. Namaste.